Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're counting down the top 5 most valuable United Kingdom halfpenny coins from different years, mint varieties, and conditions. Some of these historic British coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions, and a few rare examples are considered true collector's treasures. Whether your coin is worn, circulated, or in mint condition, you might be surprised by its hidden value. So stay tuned until the end, because one of these rare halfpennies could be sitting in your collection right now. Let's get started. First up, the fascinating 1891 United Kingdom halfpenny, a historic British coin that has captured the attention of collectors around the world. If you've recently found one of these old copper coins in a collection, an antique box, or inherited it from a family member, you may be wondering whether it's worth money. In this video, we'll explore the history of the 1891 halfpenny, its unique features, how a dirty or heavily circulated condition affects its value, and what collectors are currently paying for examples at auctions. You might be surprised to learn that while many worn coins are affordable, certain rare varieties and exceptional examples have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 1891 halfpenny was issued during the reign of Queen Victoria, one of Britain's longest-reigning monarchs. By 1891, the British Empire stretched across much of the world, and the halfpenny played an important role in everyday commerce. These small bronze coins were used for daily purchases and circulated heavily throughout the United Kingdom. Because they changed hands countless times, many surviving examples today show heavy wear, scratches, corrosion, dirt, and environmental damage. Despite their common use, the 1891 halfpenny remains a fascinating piece of British history and is popular among collectors of Victorian coinage. The obverse of the 1891 halfpenny features the famous portrait of Queen Victoria wearing a crown and veil, surrounded by a Latin inscription identifying her as queen. The reverse displays the iconic seated figure of Britannia holding a trident and shield, with a lighthouse and ship visible in the background, symbolizing Britain's naval strength and global influence. The coin was struck in bronze and has a warm brown color when preserved naturally. Collectors often examine details such as the date, lettering, rim, and the sharpness of Britannia's features to determine the coin's grade and overall desirability point. One of the biggest questions collectors ask is whether a dirty or heavily circulated 1891 halfpenny is rare. The answer depends largely on its condition and whether it has any unusual characteristics. Most dirty examples are not considered rare because millions were originally minted and many still survive today. Dirt, corrosion, scratches, and cleaning damage usually reduce a coin's value. However, even a worn coin can still attract collectors if it has attractive original surfaces, an interesting die variety, or historical significance. Coins that have never been harshly cleaned are often preferred over those that have been polished. Collectors appreciate originality, even if a coin shows honest circulation wear. Now let's talk about what an 1891 United Kingdom halfpenny in dirty condition might be worth today. A heavily worn or dirty example typically sells for around $2 to $15 depending on its overall appearance and detail. Better circulated coins with stronger details may bring $20 to $50. Very attractive, uncirculated examples with original color can reach $100 to $300 or even more. Rare high-grade specimens, exceptional eye appeal, or desirable varieties have occasionally sold at major auctions for over $1,000. Before assuming your coin is extremely valuable, it is important to compare it with professionally graded examples or consult recent auction results. If you own an 1891 halfpenny, avoid cleaning it with chemicals or abrasive materials, as this can permanently reduce its collector value. Store the coin in a protective holder to prevent further damage from moisture and handling. Examine it carefully under good lighting for unusual features, strong details, or possible varieties. If your coin appears to be in unusually high grade or has an unusual characteristic, consider having it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service. Keeping records of recent auction prices can also help you estimate its market value more accurately. The 1891 United Kingdom halfpenny is much more than an old bronze coin. It's a surviving piece of Victorian history. While most dirty and heavily circulated examples are worth only a few dollars, cleaner and better preserved coins can command significantly higher prices, and exceptional specimens have achieved impressive auction results. Understanding the coin's condition, originality, and rarity is the key to determining its true value. Next up, the fascinating 1898 United Kingdom halfpenny, a historic bronze coin from the reign of Queen Victoria. You may think that an old, worn, or damaged coin has little value, but that's not always true. Even in bad condition, coins over a century old can attract collectors because of their history, age, and collectible appeal. In today's video, we'll explore the history of the 1898 halfpenny, its unique features, how rare it really is, what collectors think about damaged examples, and how much it could be worth in today's auction market in US dollars. The 1898 United Kingdom halfpenny was struck during the final years of Queen Victoria's reign, often called the Old Head or Veiled Head period. This coin was produced at the Royal Mint in London and circulated throughout the British Empire for everyday purchases. It is made of bronze, weighs approximately 5.7 grams, measures about 25 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain edge. Around 8.6 million examples were minted in 1898, making it a relatively common date compared with some scarcer Victorian halfpennies. One of the most recognizable features of the 1898 halfpenny is the portrait of Queen Victoria wearing a veil and crown on the obverse. The inscription around her portrait reads, Victoria Day Gra Brit Regina Fid Def Imp, reflecting her role as Queen and Empress of India. The reverse displays the iconic seated Britannia holding a trident with a shield resting beside her. The words, halfpenny, appear on either side of Britannia, while the date, 1898, is shown below. These classic Victorian designs make the coin highly collectible even after more than 125 years. Although the 1898 halfpenny is not considered a key date rarity because millions were struck, finding examples with strong details and original surfaces is much more difficult today. Coins in bad condition, such as those with heavy wear, corrosion, scratches, cleaning, or environmental damage, are generally less valuable. However, many collectors still purchase damaged examples because they are affordable ways to own a genuine Victorian coin. If the date and major design elements remain visible, even a worn specimen can still have collector interest. Truly rare mint errors or unusual varieties can command much higher prices regardless of condition, but ordinary damaged coins usually trade for modest amounts. Now let's talk about value. A heavily worn or bad condition 1898 United Kingdom halfpenny typically sells for about 50 cents to $3. Coins in average circulated condition often bring around $2 to $8, while attractive very fine or extremely fine examples may sell for $7 to $20. Uncirculated specimens with original mint luster can reach approximately $60 to $90 or more, and exceptional certified examples may achieve even higher auction prices depending on eye appeal and collector demand. Remember that actual auction results vary based on condition, grading, and the number of interested bidders. If you own an 1898 halfpenny, avoid cleaning it because cleaning can reduce its value. Store the coin in a protective holder to prevent additional damage. Carefully examine the date, portrait, and Britannia design for any unusual varieties or minting errors. If you believe your coin is in exceptional condition or has a rare feature, consider having it authenticated and graded by a professional grading service before selling. Comparing your coin with recent auction results is also a great way to estimate its current market value. The 1898 United Kingdom halfpenny is a wonderful piece of British history that continues to attract collectors around the world. While most coins in bad condition are not especially rare and usually sell for only a few dollars, their historical significance makes them worthwhile additions to many collections. Better preserved examples and certified high-grade coins can bring much stronger prices at auction. So before you overlook an old Victorian halfpenny, take a closer look. You might be holding a fascinating collectible with more value than you expected. Next up, the United Kingdom halfpenny dated 1814. If you've discovered an old rusty halfpenny tucked away in a collection, an antique box, or inherited from a family member, you may be wondering whether it has any real value. While rust itself does not form on copper or bronze, many old halfpennies develop heavy corrosion, verdigris, dirt, environmental damage, or dark surfaces that people commonly describe as rusty. Surprisingly, even a heavily worn example can still attract collectors because of its historical importance and age. In today's video, we'll discuss the history of the 1814 halfpenny, its unique characteristics, collector demand, rarity and damaged condition, current auction values in US dollars, and useful tips for anyone interested in collecting these historic British coins. The 1814 United Kingdom halfpenny was issued during the reign of King George III, one of Britain's longest-serving monarchs. This period came near the end of the Napoleonic Wars, a time when Britain was expanding its influence around the world. Copper halfpennies played a vital role in everyday commerce, allowing ordinary people to buy food, transportation, and household goods. Because these coins circulated extensively, many examples experienced decades of heavy use before eventually disappearing from circulation. More than 2 centuries later, surviving specimens provide collectors with a tangible connection to British history, making them popular among numismatists worldwide. The 1814 halfpenny is admired for its classic early 19th century design. The obverse features a portrait of King George III surrounded by a Latin inscription identifying him as king. The reverse displays the famous seated figure of Britannia holding a spear and olive branch, with a shield resting beside her, symbolizing Britain's strength and stability. The coin is made primarily of copper, giving it a rich brown appearance when preserved. However, many surviving examples now show corrosion, scratches, stains, environmental damage, and heavy wear after more than 200 years. Even in poor condition, these distinctive designs remain recognizable, helping collectors identify authentic pieces. Although the 1814 halfpenny is not considered one of the rarest British copper coins, its age alone makes it desirable. Millions were originally produced, but countless examples were lost, melted, damaged, or worn beyond recognition over the centuries. Rusty or corroded coins are generally less valuable than well-preserved specimens, yet many collectors still seek them because they offer an affordable way to own a genuine coin from the early 1800s. Beginners often purchase damaged examples to start a collection, while experienced collectors may buy them as placeholders until they locate a higher-grade coin. If the date remains clear and the major design elements are visible, even a damaged coin can retain collectible value. Auction values for an 1814 United Kingdom halfpenny vary greatly depending on its condition, originality, and eye appeal. A heavily corroded or environmentally damaged example that collectors describe as rusty typically sells for around $5 to $20. Coins with moderate wear but clear details often realize $25 to $75. Attractive circulated examples with smooth surfaces and strong design features can bring $100 to $250. High-grade, well-preserved coins with original color and minimal wear may sell for $500 to over $1,000, especially at major coin auctions. Exceptionally preserved specimens with outstanding eye appeal can sometimes achieve even higher prices when competitive bidding occurs. As always, rarity, certification, and collector demand strongly influence final auction results. If you own an 1814 halfpenny, avoid cleaning or polishing it, even if it appears dirty or corroded. Cleaning can permanently damage the surface and significantly reduce its collector value. Store the coin in a protective holder or archival quality flip to prevent additional environmental damage. Examine the date carefully to confirm the year and compare the design with authenticated examples. If your coin appears unusually well preserved or has distinctive characteristics, consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service or an experienced coin dealer. Before selling, compare recent auction results to understand realistic market prices rather than relying on exaggerated online claims. The United Kingdom halfpenny of 1814 is a remarkable piece of British history that has survived for more than 2 centuries. Even when found in rusty-looking, corroded, or heavily worn condition, it continues to attract collectors because of its historical significance and enduring appeal. While damaged examples usually sell for modest amounts, higher quality specimens can command impressive auction prices reaching hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you happen to own one of these historic coins, take the time to examine it carefully. You may be holding a fascinating artifact from the reign of King George III and an important part of Britain's numismatic heritage. Next up, the 1890 United Kingdom halfpenny, one of the classic bronze coins from the Victorian era. Even though many examples of this coin are found in worn or damaged condition after more than 130 years, collectors around the world continue to search for them because of their fascinating history and connection to the reign of Queen Victoria. In this video, we'll explore the coin's history, its unique design, how damage affects its value, current auction market prices in US dollars, and useful tips for collectors. If you enjoy rare coin discoveries and learning how old coins can still be worth money, be sure to watch until the end. The 1890 United Kingdom halfpenny was issued during the reign of Queen Victoria, one of Britain's longest-reigning monarchs. During the late 19th century, the British Empire was expanding across the world, and everyday bronze coins such as the halfpenny were essential for daily commerce. Millions of these coins circulated through shops, markets, and businesses across Britain and its territories. The coin was struck in bronze and produced in large numbers, making it a familiar part of Victorian life. However, after more than a century of circulation, many surviving examples have become heavily worn, scratched, bent, corroded, or otherwise damaged. These well-used coins tell the story of everyday people who handled them throughout the Victorian era. The obverse of the 1890 halfpenny features the famous portrait of Queen Victoria wearing her Jubilee crown. Around the portrait is the Latin inscription identifying her as Queen of Great Britain and Empress of India. On the reverse is the seated figure of Britannia holding a trident and shield while facing the sea. A lighthouse and sailing ship appear in the background, symbolizing Britain's naval strength and maritime heritage. Below Britannia is the date 1890, making it easy to identify the year of issue. The coin is composed of bronze, weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures about 25.5 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain edge. These classic design elements have made Victorian halfpennies highly recognizable among collectors worldwide. Although the 1890 halfpenny is not considered a rare date because millions were originally minted, finding one in excellent condition has become increasingly difficult. Most surviving examples show heavy circulation, environmental damage, scratches, corrosion, cleaning marks, or other defects. A damaged coin generally has much lower collector value than one in high-grade condition. Nevertheless, many beginner collectors still purchase damaged Victorian halfpennies because they provide an affordable way to own a genuine 19th-century British coin. Coins with clearly visible dates and recognizable details remain desirable despite their imperfections. Collectors are especially interested if a damaged coin still displays strong design details, an attractive natural color, or an unusual minting error. Such characteristics can increase demand even when the coin is not in perfect condition. Let's discuss what an 1890 United Kingdom halfpenny in damaged condition may be worth today. A heavily worn or damaged example with scratches, corrosion, or other significant problems typically sells for around $2 to $8 USD. Damaged coin with a clear date and better eye appeal may sell for approximately $8 to $20 US, especially if collectors need it to complete a Victorian date collection. Coins with only minor damage but stronger remaining detail can sometimes bring $20 to $50 USD to high-grade. Problem-free examples are considerably more valuable and may sell for $75 to several $100, depending on their condition, color, and collector demand. Exceptionally preserved examples certified by professional grading services have achieved even higher auction prices. Keep in mind that auction values change over time depending on market demand, rarity of condition, and overall collector interest. If you own an 1890 halfpenny, avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surface and significantly reduce collector value. Store the coin in a protective holder or capsule to prevent further wear and environmental damage. Always handle old coins by their edges to avoid leaving fingerprints on the surface. Compare your coin with authenticated examples, paying close attention to the date, portrait, and Britannia design. If your coin appears unusually well preserved or shows a possible mint error, consider having it examined by a professional coin dealer or grading service. Finally, monitor recent coin auctions because prices can change as collector demand increases. Victorian bronze coins remain popular among collectors around the world. The 1890 United Kingdom halfpenny may not be one of the rarest British coins ever produced, but it remains an important piece of Victorian history. Even in damaged condition, it attracts collectors who appreciate its age, historical significance, and classic design. While most damaged examples are worth only a few dollars, better preserved pieces can command much higher prices, especially at competitive auctions. Next up, the United Kingdom halfpenny 1943. At first glance, this small bronze coin may seem ordinary, especially if it is scratched, worn, or damaged. However, appearances can be deceiving. Many collectors search for these historic World War II-era coins because of their age, historical significance, and the possibility of valuable varieties. In today's video, we'll uncover the history of the 1943 halfpenny, examine its unique features, discuss how damage affects its rarity and collector demand, reveal its current auction market value in US dollars, and share useful tips for anyone interested in collecting British coins. Stay with us until the end because you might discover that an old coin sitting in a drawer has more value than you ever imagined. The United Kingdom halfpenny dated 1943 was struck during one of the most challenging years of World War II. Britain was heavily involved in the war effort, and everyday life was affected by shortages, rationing, and economic pressures. Even so, the Royal Mint continued producing coins to keep commerce moving throughout the country. The 1943 halfpenny was made from bronze and circulated widely across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Millions of these coins changed hands during the war, purchasing everyday necessities such as food, newspapers, and public transportation. Because they were used extensively, most surviving examples today show significant wear, scratches, corrosion, or other forms of damage. Collectors appreciate the 1943 halfpenny not only because of its age, but also because it represents an important chapter in British history. Every circulated example tells a story of life during wartime Britain. The obverse of the 1943 halfpenny features the portrait of King George VI, facing left. Around the portrait is the Latin inscription identifying him as king and emperor. This elegant design reflects the style of British coinage during the early 20th century. The reverse displays the traditional seated figure of Britannia holding a trident and shield while facing the sea. The denomination, halfpenny, appears below Britannia, with the year 1943 clearly shown underneath. This iconic design has become one of the most recognizable images in British numismatics. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures around 25 millimeters in diameter, and was struck in bronze. While there are no regular mint marks for standard circulation pieces, collectors carefully inspect these coins for striking quality, die varieties, unusual errors, and exceptionally preserved surfaces. One of the most common questions is whether a damaged 1943 halfpenny is still collectible. The answer is yes, but its value depends on the extent of the damage. Coins with heavy scratches, corrosion, bends, cleaning marks, rim damage, or environmental wear generally command lower prices than problem-free examples. Since millions were minted, an ordinary damaged coin is not considered rare by itself. However, collectors who assemble complete date sets often purchase lower-grade examples because they are affordable. If a damaged coin displays an unusual minting error, an off-center strike, a dramatic die crack, or another verified mint variety, collector demand can increase significantly despite its condition. Historical significance also helps maintain interest. As the coin was produced during World War II, let's discuss what collectors might realistically expect in today's market. A heavily worn or damaged 1943 United Kingdom halfpenny usually sells for approximately $1 to $5. Coins with moderate circulation but no major structural damage often sell for $5 to $15. Well-preserved circulated examples with attractive detail may reach $20 to $40. Uncirculated specimens with original mint luster can bring $60 to $150. Depending on eye appeal and certification. Exceptionally preserved examples, certified in very high mint state grades by professional grading services, have occasionally sold at auction for $200 to over $500. Rare mint errors or exceptional condition can push prices even higher when competitive bidders are involved. Remember that auction values fluctuate based on market demand, grading, rarity, and collector interest. A damaged coin should not be expected to reach the same prices as a certified mint state example unless it possesses an unusual and desirable mint error. If you own a 1943 halfpenny, avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can permanently reduce its collector value by damaging the original surface. Instead, store the coin in a protective holder or archival quality flip to prevent further wear. Carefully inspect the coin under good lighting for unusual die varieties, striking errors, or other distinctive characteristics. If you believe your coin is an exceptional example or has a rare mint error, consider submitting it to a professional grading service for authentication. Compare recent auction results rather than relying on exaggerated online claims. Condition is the single most important factor affecting value, and professionally graded coins generally sell for stronger prices. Finally, continue learning about British coinage. Building knowledge is often the best investment a collector can make. The United Kingdom halfpenny 1943 is a remarkable reminder of Britain's wartime history. Although a damaged example is usually worth only a few dollars, it remains an important collectible because of its historical significance and enduring popularity among British coin enthusiasts. Better preserved coins and rare mint errors can command much higher prices, making every 1943 halfpenny worth examining carefully before spending or selling it. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more videos featuring rare British coins, valuable pennies, auction records, and hidden treasures that could be sitting in your collection. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.